Welcome to Keyboards and Adventures.
Today we track down the Abyssal Conspiracy. Don't forget to like and subscribe this video if you are finding it entertaining. Welcome back! It's Jupiter, aka Fifth Planet Keyforge, here with you with another Keyforge adventure. Our deck, Lechner Ratnawal's Cadet, was able to survive the Kraken. So today he's going to try to figure out the Abyssal Conspiracy as he is stranded on the SLRS Vorsalon, and we are going to try to figure out if we can come down and save the crew from this Gilligan's Island nightmare that is being presented upon us. And we're going to figure out who these conspirators are. Maybe some familiar faces, maybe some new faces, but let's find out as we move in to the Abyssal Conspiracy. Alrighty then, so here we are. We are set and ready to play. New overhead camera so you guys get more of the picture here. And the setup for this is really easy. It is basically, oops, I'm dropping cards as I try to shuffle. That's not good. Anyway, so we are here basically shuffling up Lechner Ratawell's Cadet, and as you can see, we are set to go. This is going to represent me, the spinning ball of doom, and we are set on the SLRS Vorsalon. So this works a lot like the Keyraken game did. So what you do is you basically are setting up your thing, and they have rows: row 1, row 2, row 3. The object of the game is to find the Vault Breaker Scepter, who is basically is the key to us getting out of the predicament that we're in before the conspiracy breaks all 5 of these seals. And each seal costs more for the conspiracy to crack. It starts at 2 and it goes up to 6. So basically, and it's basically times the player. So it's only one player, so that's why it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and not bigger. But the idea here is that Lechner here is going to do its best to fight off the conspirators and what they're going to do. So we're going to probably see some old faces and surprising faces maybe in this mission, and we're going to see what happens. So the idea here too is real simple. I'm going to play my game of Keyforge like I would play a normal game of Keyforge. Anytime I can forge a key, I can move from location to location, and my object is to basically get to one of the locations at the bottom with the scepter, and then basically activate everything and get it moving in that formation. So with that said, we are going to move forward, and we are going to take on this Abyssal Conspiracy, and here we go. First off, what we're going to do is we're going to start off with 6 cards. That is the start of the game, and I can play as many of these cards as I like. So let's take a look. I have with me a Chelonia, an Assert Dominance, an Orb of Wonder, a Cleansing Wave, a Chronophage, and Staunch Knight. So Chronophage is interesting. So I'm guessing Chronophage still would work like a Chronophage would work, right? Like where it would just cause an Omega to happen. Creatures and artifacts gain Omega. So as soon as like one of them gets played, it would just end his turn. So that's an interesting card to get out early, right? Cleansing Wave, Staunch Knight, Orb of Wonder, Chelonia, Assert Dominance. I think I start this game off with a Chronophage out of Logos, and I only draw 1 card for it, but I think that is the play. Because now what happens is I have to basically take my turn for the conspiracy, right? So I don't know if this is right or wrong, but this is how we're going to play it because Chronophage basically says so. Let's see what the first card of the conspiracy is. First card of the conspiracy is, in fact, the Riptide Turret. Riptide Turret enters play ready. Discard a random card from your hand. So with that said, it's going to come into play, but the problem is the turn ends before he gets a chance to even use it because of the Omega, right? I would assume. So it won't be there. It'll be there, but it won't be there ready until to get me until next turn, and that's if one of these things doesn't happen because artifacts trigger at the end of the turn. So I think I got away with it a little bit, and I think Chronophage is going to actually do some work for me here. So the extra card I drew was a Talamage Steelheart, which isn't great either. So this turn, I think what I do is I go into Sanctum. I'm going to play my Orb of Wonder. I'm going to play a Staunch Knight on the side of the Chronophage over here. And then I'm going to play a... Oops, that's the wrong card. I'm going to play the cleansing wave just to get rid of it. So this is going to go off, and we're going to put my graveyard off the camera so that I have more room, because I am limited in space. So I have left a Chelonia, Assert Dominance, and a Tally Mage. So we're going to ready up. Still no Amber though, so nothing is being really done yet as we move forward. I need more space for my artifacts here. All right, so with that said, I will draw 3 now. 1, and, ooh, there's a Deepwater Gruin. That's good. 2, and 3, and a Mollymawk. All right, I could kill some artifacts too. All right, so with all that said, I think I can actually make a good turn next turn. Hopefully things will go well, but we'll see what happens. All right, so first thing of this turn for the conspirators is a Whirlpool Turret. So this is going to come into play here as well, and it's going to basically end the turn, but actually when it's played it gets ended, so I guess he still doesn't get to use the thing. So Chronophage is doing some work at this location right now, and until they get something that's going to deal with this Chronophage, it might not actually turn out well for the game. All right, here, Harlan, Sweet Tarts. Here, yummy. Sorry, Harlan break. All right, so with that said, the Chronophage is in play. Orb of Wonder, my turn, because the artifact has ended the turn there. I'm going to go ahead and play, I'm going to raise the tide. I'm going to raise the tide so I get 3 chains. So let me mark that first off. We'll mark it with 3. I use armor tokens for everything but armor. And so I know I have 3 chains, but now I can play my Chelonia. I can play my Deepwater Gruin. That's going to net me 3 amber. As I drop 1 on the floor. And then I'm going to play Mollymawk. I'm going to destroy one of these artifacts. I don't know which one yet. Let's see. The Whirlpool and the Riptide. Whirlpool Conspiracy gains 1 amber. If the tide is low, gains 2 instead, or discard a card. I don't want the random discard. I think that's the worst. So we're going to kill the random discard artifact. It is going to die. We'll put the death up here. Alright, so now we're going to ready up the Mollymawk and the Deepwater Gruin. And we are basically building a pretty good battle line here. As I don't want to use Assert Dominance yet, because I want to basically have it in case I got to kill one of his things. So now I draw basically 2 cards, only 2 cards because I have chains. So I draw 1, I draw 2. I go down to 2 chains. 2 chains. The cards I drew were another Deepwater Gruin and a Witch of the Dawn. So that's a pretty good one. That's a good start. Let's see what happens here. So did I get the right amount of amber? So I got 1, 2, 3, 4 for the Mollymawk. So I should have 4 amber. And everything looks in place. All right, cool. So now the next card for them is a Scout Pete. So this says move a conspiracy artifact from a shallow location to Scout Pete's location. So this basically draws like an artifact down if we go down a level. So that's kind of crazy, but that does end the turn for them. And so I'm really handicapping them hard with this Chronophage. Maybe not the best card to have against the deck if you want to have a lot of fun, because he seems to be really limiting their actions, which is good for me, right? All right, so it's my turn. I get to play. I am going to go again into I'm going to go into Untamed again. So this time around we are going to use Assert Dominance most likely. So what we're going to do is we're going to reap, reap, reap. All right, so that's 3 reaps. So we get 3 amber. 1, 2, 3. 3 amber. As my amber continues to fall on the ground. And we are going to play Deepwater Gruin for 3 amber more. 1, 2, 3. So I have lots of amber. Then we are going to play assert dominance. We're going to assert dominance on Gruen. He's going to fight into the Scout Pete, which will kill Scout Pete. And it will do 4 damage to my Gruen. So there's the damage for the Gruen. And then I think I'm going to hold the Witch of the Dawn. I'm going to let this be dead, the assert dominance. And I'm going to again draw only 2 cards. 1, 2. And I will be down to 1 chain. And the 2 cards I draw are the second Chelonia and a final analysis. Ooh, that seems pretty good. This deck is really fun. It's doing good things. I like it. So final analysis actually could be huge for me, but we'll find out. Alright, so now I'm going to ready up and pass back to the conspirators. See what the conspirators can do. Alright, here we go. Conspiracy number 1 is a Deep Priest Anakava. So Deep Priest Anakava is basically she reaps and she puts a card in the archive for the conspiracy. But that's not going to help right now because the chronophage has again ended the reign of terror of the conspiracy, and the conspiracy is definitely stymied by the chronophage. So that's pretty awesome. And it's my turn now, so I'm going to pay 6 to basically, I can pay 6 to forge a key, so I can forge a key. So what I can do now is I can pay either 2 amber to move left or right, or I can pay 4 to go deep. And so we're going to go deep. I'm going to choose to go here. This says, while the tide is high, you may play Vault Breaker as if it were in your hand. So this is exactly where I needed to be as far as location goes, because that's going to give me the Vault Breaker. But whenever you go deep, your tide becomes low. So I do not get the Vault Breaker right away, as it is going to be a low tide until I flip it. While the tide is high, you may play the Vault Breaker as if it were in your hand. While the tide is low, the conspiracy creatures gain Reap, archive 1 adventure card. So that's kind of huge. But the good news is that I got lucky and I basically can get to that right now. And so I went deep, so I pay 4 amber to the cause, and I go back down to 6. So I'm still in position to go deep even faster this time with the thing. So this is looking really good for me so far. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into my Untamed suite here. I'm going to use my Orb of Wonder to go through my deck and get a card, as I'm going to be in Untamed. And so I still do have 1 chain left, but I'm going to get my Assert Dominance, or not Assert Dominance, but Cross Porpoises, I believe is in this deck. Yes, Cross Porpoises. The reason I'm getting Cross Porpoises is because I want to raise the tide so I can play that Vault Breaker. And once I have the Vault Breaker, I don't have to worry about chains anymore, and that's big. I don't want to be chained, as there could be bad things that happen with the chains. Alright, so Cross Porpoises comes to my hand. Next, I'm going to play Cross Porpoises. Get 1 amber, change the tide. Blue, blue. Now that the tide is high, I can play Vault Breaker. The tide going high, I get my Vault Breaker. So Vault Breaker, huge. Here, as I get to have one of the components to victory in the Vault Breaker. So that's really good. Now that the tide is high again, I can play my Chelonia, which will net me 1 extra amber for playing the Chelonia. So I'm doing really well on amber, so that's really good for me. And then I'm going to play... Do I play Witch of the Eye? I don't think I need to, right? Ah, hell. I'm going to play Witch of the Eye. I'm going to look. I don't believe I have any creatures that I can bring back, so I don't. I have all spells and stuff, so that Witch of the Eye is just going to net me 2 extra amber. So I am well into the amber pool. And on my way to stopping this conspiracy quite easily, it seems. This is the easiest game of adventure I've played yet. Yes, we played this yesterday and it was close and it was crazy, but Chronophage seems busted. Your opponent's creatures and artifacts gain Omega. So, I mean, it's a pretty strong card. So, my turn. Oh, this is readied up. Oh no, it's Conspiracy's turn. So, we're going to ready up and then pass back to the Conspiracy. As you can see, I'm going to draw, my last chain is gone, and I'm going to draw 2 cards for this turn, and the next turn I'm back on 3. But we have Orpheus Land chosen, Orpheus Sea chosen, then we have Old Egad, Talamage, and Final Analysis. But like, why would I use them? Like my Untamed suite is doing Untamed craziness, and that is fantastic. All right, so with that said, she is actually ready, so we can do that. So the first thing we do is we go into our turn, and we are going to flip the first card. First card here is an action, so his turn does not end this time. And this action says, gain 1 amber, either deal 2 to each of your team's creatures at your location, or your team loses 4 amber. I'm going to lose 4 amber, because I can. And they're going to gain 1 amber, so from playing this card. So I'm going to lose 4 amber. Because I don't want my creatures, I don't want my Chelonias to die. So I'm going to do that. And so that is that card. And secondly, they're going to play a creature, which ends their turn. Perfect. Sir Maros comes into play, and it says basically play or pray the leftmost creature with power 5 or lower. After one of your team's creatures reaps at Sir Maros' location, give Sir Maros a +1 power counter. So reaping now is actually costly to me, right? So all the creatures basically come into play on the right side, and they continue down that line. But they only got 1 amber this turn, which is perfect. It's not going to hurt me. And I still have 6, so I get to move again. And I do have the Vault Breaker. So I'm going to pay 4, and I'm going to move south. I'm going to go down and see if I can't get to the Giant's throne as fast as possible, and see if I can't reap out and win with it. So here we go. He's moving down. We are moving down to the 3rd level, and it is the Rune Altar. While the tide is low, you cannot play more than 2 cards each turn. Alright, so the tide is now low because it moved down, so I cannot play more than 2 unless I raise that tide. Good news is I have a tide. I have a Vault Binder, so Vault Binder is very good. So here is the question. How do I proceed? I think I just make a bunch of amber with my Untamed and try to win that way, because I think that's where my value really is. I could play I could play Old Degad and Talamage and then Final Analysis for a huge draw, but I don't think there's a value in that right now because I can get my work done here. So Vault Banner cannot leave play. Omni, exhaust a friendly creature of the active house if you do raise the tide. So I'm going Untamed. I'm going to use this to exhaust the Witch of the Dawn. So that's going to flip the tide, and we're going to go high. Okay, so we're in high tide. That's good. And then I'm going to reap, 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 reap. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to get 5 amber. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 amber added to my pool. And then I'm going to ready up and let conspiracy theory people do their as I do get to draw 1 extra card because my chains are gone. So now I got another Old Egad. So now I have a lot of final analysis power if it gets to the point I feel like I need to use it. But right now I'm just going to coast on my Untamed. It's like the thing to do, right? So here we go. We are going to now show the next card. It's a Merkins, so his turn is going to end. Value to me with that, but he has no play. His playability is if your team controls more creatures at your location than conspiracy, the conspiracy archives a card. So they're going to get to archive a card, which is kind of scary, right? Like it should be kind of scary. So here's their archive. They get 1 archived card for next turn, and that'll be the first thing we do next turn as we look at it. All right. So Merkins readies up, and he's in play. And oh, when I reaped for 5, he gets +5, so he's huge. I did almost miss that. All right, so with that said, scary. All right, I can make a key again, so I'm going to pay 2 because that's all you need to move left or right. And we're going to go to the left, so we're going to move here. And this is the Abyss, so I went the wrong way. That sucks. So I am now stuck at the Abyss, and the Abyss says at the start of your turn, if the tide is low, destroy your creature with the lowest power. Lucky for me, the tide is high, so we are not in a bad situation here as far as that goes. So the last thing I need to do here is I'm going to basically reap, 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 reap. So that's going to give me 6 amber. And that's what we're going to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 amber, and then I'm going to pass turn back to the conspiracy. So the first thing they have is Truth Uncovered. Put an ignorance counter on each of your non-flank creatures. While a creature has an ignorance counter on it, its text box is considered to be blank, except for traits. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 creatures now have ignorance counters, and their text boxes are now blank. So no more value for the Chelonia here, other than I get to still reap. So as long as I'm reaping, I think I'm doing okay. But they do get an amber for that, so that's huge for them because they get to break a seal at some point, and that could be bad for my creatures, but we'll find out. So now the first card of the turn is a Hypnotic Chant. Move to another revealed location that is not deeper. If the tide is high, your team gains 3. All right, so I got to move to. I get 3. 1, 2, 3, and I am gonna get moved to the ruined altar, which is okay. That doesn't hurt me. All right, so and then we got to do one more turn here. It is an action, Fiendish Undercurrents. So here's 1 extra amber for them for the Fiendish Undercurrent. Fiendish Undercurrent reads either deal 2 damage to each of your team's creature or pay 4, or my team loses 4. I'm going to choose to lose 4 because I got a lot of amber. I'm rich, so I'm rich. Old people fill in the blank. All right, so Dave Chappelle at his finest. I'm rich. All right, cool. So we have that settled. All right, that's good. All right, and so now he gets to use his creatures finally, which could be bad for me, right? But we'll find out. So the first creature is going to be Reap and get an Amber and basically archive a card. So that's dangerous, right, in its own right. And then this one is going to Prey the leftmost creature with the power 5 or lower. So leftmost creature with 5 or lower. Dang it, is my Chronophage. He got my Chronophage, folks. That makes the game harder, but I'm already got a good head start, so I think I can recover here. All right, so and this guy's got +6 more too on it because he's ginormous. Because I reaped for 6, I forgot again, but he's huge, and he's going to take 3 damage from my Chronophage. All right, so all this is gonna move over a little bit. Give me some extra room. That's nice. All right, but then we got here, it says Prey, the creature with the highest power, skirmish. So he's going to fight what would be the Staunch Knight. Staunch Knight's armor is going to just deny him any kind of value. So that's good for me. Extra location, the conspiracy archives a card. Oh, wait. Oh, no, that's a play effect, yeah. So skirmish, and he basically skirmishes into a 2 damage, doesn't do anything else. So untap, they do have a card in the thing, and they have 4 amber, so they're going to bust the first seal on the next turn, most likely. But I have enough to basically move, so I'm going to pay 2 to move to the location I know I need to be at. And that is the Giants, or the Titan's Gate, sorry. Titan's Gate says, while the tide is low, seals cost -2 per player. That's crazy. At the start of your turn, if the Vault Binder is at this location and the tide is high, your team may spend 6 amber per player to win the game. So I have enough amber to win next turn. So there is a very good chance that I'm going to win. But I still have a turn to take, so I'm going to take my turn. And what we're going to do here is we are going to freaking reap out again because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 amber seems really good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 amber loaded up, add 6 power that I've been neglecting to my guy. So there's 1, 4. I'm out of my big counters. 5, 6. All right, so there's all that power on this Sir Maros. He's a monster. Alright, so with that said, I can pass turn back, and all my guys are obviously going to... Oh, wait, I've got to do this. So conspiracy gains... oh, no, I don't, because it's not at the place. Never mind. I'm down here, not up there. So I'm good. So first thing we're going to do is let's take a look at this. There is a Riptide Current. That is not a good thing. Going to make me discard a card from random from hand, but that's not till end of turn. So then first card is a Merkins. So Merkins comes into play. If your team controls more creatures, which we do at your location, the conspiracy archives a card. So we're going to archive a card for next turn. And then the second card for this turn is a Dr. Escatera. Prey, the rightmost creature with 3 power or lower. Play, your team loses amber equal to the depth of your current location. So the depth of my current location is 3, so I'm losing 3 amber to Dr. Escatera. I thought Dr. Escatera was a good guy. He duped me. Anyway, can't trust those robots. Merkins, I can understand. Sir Maros is actually surprising too. He's like I guess he's a Sanctum covert operator. All right, so all these guys basically have gotten to do their thing. So she's going to reap, gain a archive card. He's going to attack Chelonia, who has elusive, and do nothing. He is going to attack the Staunch Knight and do nothing, and these two ready up. So board should be good. We move forward to my turn. I am high tide. I pay 6 amber. I win the conspiracy. So boom. Conspiracy down. Chronophage OP. Well, this is Jupiter from Manlius, New York, 5th planet, Keyforge, and that was the Abyssal Conspiracy. I have to say that Chronophage was a bit overpowered there. I think I played everything correctly. Let me know in the comments as I try to get better at playing these games. But I plan to do these videos on a very regular basis for you so that we can see different decks play and stuff. But so far, from what I've seen, Lechner at normal skill is a deck that was able to dominate the scenario. I would say the Keyraken one was maybe not so dominant as Lechner almost lost. Like he was basically a turn away from losing, but we got there, and he was able to destroy the Abyssal Conspiracy with the Chronophage, and just again rocking the really hardcore Untamed suite. So. Kudos to Lechner, who is the first of my Keyforge Adventures Archons, and he is going to go on the Wall of Fame, which doesn't exist, that of a deck that took down both scenarios in its first try. So kudos to Lechner. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you're enjoying these, and I will see you tomorrow.